This meeting is called to order in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of this meeting was provided to the Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger, and the Highland Park Planet on April 18, 2024, and was posted on the Borough website at www.hbboro.com and on the bulletin board at Borough Hall, 221 South Fifth Avenue, Highland Park, New Jersey, and has remained continuously posted as required by law. Fire exits are to the left and right, my left, your right, of the council chambers. Chief Abrams, since you lead us in so many things, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance today?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chief. Now we do the roll call.
Mayor Foster, Councilwoman Canavera. Here. Councilman George.
Here.
Councilman Hale.
Here.
Council President Hirsch.
Here.
Councilwoman Kim Chohan. Councilman Pistonik.
I am here.
Borough Attorney Shaw. Here. Borough Administrator Hoover.
Here.
Approval of minutes. So we need a motion to approve minutes as distributed on May 28th, 2024 during the work session meeting. Roll call, please.
Any motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
And roll call.
Councilwoman Canavera.
Yes.
Councilman George.
Yes.
Councilman Hale.
Yes.
Council President Hirsch.
Yes.
Councilman Pistonik.
Yes.
All right. Now off to council reports. We start with Councilman Hale.
Thank you, Madam, and thank you, Council President. Lots in the agenda tonight, so I'll try to be quick. I want to first of all give a shout out to my colleague, Tara Canavera, for letting me know that this is National Independent Retailers Month. Highland Park has a lot of those, and they need your help by getting out to shop local and HB. So thank you very much for Independent Retailers Month, and please get out and shop in Highland Park. Sorry, I should have said for those listening but not seeing, my name is Matt Hale, and I chair the Economic Development Committee for the council. So tonight we are voting on a new signage ordinance for HB. And I wanted to thank Main Street Highland Park, its design committee, the planning board, and our planner for all the hard work on this initiative that really is designed to make it easier for businesses to upgrade their exterior signage. The goal is to sort of consolidate our various signage requirements and restrictions into one part of our code instead of sort of having it all over the place. And we hope that this is going to make it easier for businesses who want to improve their exterior look, but also make it easier for code enforcement officers to monitor and enforce it going forward. It was a great community effort to put it together, and so thank you everybody for working on that. Speaking of signage, we're also excited that through our NPP grant program, we're going to be contributing about $4,000 to the construction of a new sign in front of Irving School, partnering with Irving School on that. It's an NPP funded project, and I think it's good one. So tonight we have a number of new redevelopment plans and proposals for study on a variety of different things. One is on Upper Raritan Valley, which is one we talked about before. That's coming tonight. And we are also going to be asking the planning board and the planners to conduct the necessary research and study protocols to see if the Sunoco station and some of the surrounding properties meet the statutory requirements for areas in need of redevelopment. Terry's going to speak more directly about this in her report, so I'll leave most of that to her. But just to be sure, this is not something that we take lightly, something that we think is important to the continued growth and redevelopment of our downtown. So I'll leave it with that. We'll hear more of those a little bit later on. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Kim Chohan.
I have nothing to report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Canavera.
Yes, thank you. Board of Health would like to remind everybody that we are under a severe heat advisory, and anyone can get heat-related illnesses, but some people are more susceptible than others. These risk factors can be personal or environmental, including These include dehydration, not drinking enough water, or drinking alcohol can cause dehydration, which makes it harder for your body to sweat and regulate your temperature. Ages: infants and children under 4 and adults 65 and over are at higher risk of heat exhaustion. Physical fitness: lower levels of fitness can make it harder for your body to adapt to the hot conditions. Medications: there are quite a few medications that can increase your risk, so please check with your doctor. And other health conditions such as obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, mental illness, and poor circulation can all increase your risk. To prevent heat-related illnesses, try to stay cool indoors as much as possible, wear appropriate clothing, and schedule outdoor activities carefully, and pace yourself and know when to stop, and also remember to wear sunscreen. We would like to thank the Reformed Church for making their quilt room available for a cooling station during business hours, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 to 4, and Tuesdays, 8 to 6. People can come to Borough Hall or the community center, or you can also go to the Reformed Church from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. The Commission for Universal Access would like everybody to know that July shines a spotlight on the most common form of inherited intellectual disabilities. The National Fragile X Awareness Month it includes a mission to support those with Fragile X while also celebrating the families who support them. The syndrome is a mutation of the FMR1 gene. While it is the most common form of inherited intellectual disabilities, it impacts men more than women. Some people may have the gene mutation but never show signs. Symptoms may also develop later in life. Those who do show signs may have mild or severe symptoms. Physical, intellectual, and behavioral symptoms may appear and vary between males and females. Women tend to have similar but milder symptoms or none at all. Testing and treatment are available, however, there is no cure and more research is needed. The Mental Health Commission reminds you that if you are in crisis, please call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988. Help is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The Community Food Pantry is open the second and fourth Thursday from 9 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. and again from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturday following the Thursday from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. The Highland Park Gives the Hoot Food Pantry is open every Tuesday at the Zone 6 Teen Center from 10 to 11, and I'm sorry, they also included Wednesdays now from 10 to 11. If you're in need, please reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cavallaro. Councilman Pastello?
Thank you, Council President. My name is Jason Stelnick. I chair the Recreation and Arts Committee. Within that falls the work of the Community Services Department. And that's what I want to start my report with tonight. I just want to give a big shout out to Kim and the team from the Department of Community Services, as well as DPW, police, fire, and other EMS and other borough staff who were on site to help make the fireworks in the park an incredible, enjoyable event for so many families and residents of Highland Park and neighboring towns. So thank you all that you did to make that event the huge success that it was. On deck is the Park Stock Music Festival. So that's our annual summer outdoor concert series. It starts this month. They are going to be from 6 to 8 p.m. on Thursdays in Grove 1 in Donaldson Park. The first concert is this Thursday, July 18th, featuring the Mike Montre Band, which is an Americana band. There's a rain date, hopefully we don't need it, of Thursday, August 8th. After that, the next Thursday, July 25th, will be Billy, which is a rock, punk, and bluegrass band, with a rain date of either Thursday, August 8th, or August 22nd, which again, hopefully we won't need that rain date. Following that, getting to August, is Thursday, August 15th. We will be featuring the Stratonicasters, a rock and roll, pop rock, and instrumental guitar group, with a rain date of Thursday, August 22nd. And then last but certainly not least is the Park Stock Festival / End of Summer Festival, which will be our big end of summer event, akin to what we held last year, minus the fireworks, on Thursday, August 29th. That'll be featuring Cliff Westfall, an electrified honky tonk group.
And there'll be a number of other activities and features, including a bounce house, obstacle course, and food trucks. The rain date for that is TBD, but again, hopefully we will need that. We'll have excellent weather like we did last time. Select food vendors will be on site for all the Park Stock concerts, with some more, again, for that particular end of summer event. That's all I have on the community services bill. I also am the liaison to the Arts Commission, and we don't have a firm date location just yet, but we're coming in on August 6th, October 6th as a possible date for a Highland Park Poetry Festival, which will be featuring a good number of quality poets and a number of other ancillary activities. So I just want to put that out there, more details to come. So keep an eye out for that, and I will be sure to update you when we have those details set. And that is my report for tonight.
Thank you, Councilmember Pacelli. Councilman George.
Thank you, Council President. I'm Phil George, and I chair the Public Safety Committee. Following up on what Councilmember Canavera said about the hot weather, also keep in mind that our EMS people and our Public Works people are out working in this heat all day. Our public Department of Public Works have to wear safety gear. Our police officers wear over 45 pounds of gear. Our firefighters wear 70 pounds of turnout gear in this heat. So keep them in mind. If you see a little delay of traffic or delay of street because people are out working, give them a little bit of extra patience. They're outside working in 95-degree heat while they're inside and suffering through air conditioning. With regard to the police department, today we welcome new police officer Oscar Cleaver to the force. During the interviews, he was one of the more delightful interviews that we've had. Very knowledgeable as a former member of the Middlesex County Police, so he's already tuned into our new dispatch system and ready to hit the ground in a lot of different ways. A lot of training in community policing. I think he's going to be a great addition to the community on the street and dealing with people on a one-to-one basis. National Night Out has been a great success in the past few years in our new format at Borough School, and this year we'll again be gathering for the activities of all of our public safety partners at Borough School from 6 to 9 p.m. on August 15th. We anticipate more participants this year and more exhibits. We'll have more fun entertainment, and as we get closer, we'll have more information on that event. The Highland Park Police Department will participate with the Highland Park Human Relations Committee from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at the Community Center on September 18th. This is a joint event, and Councilwoman Canavera will give you more information as we get closer to the date. It's on gun safety. A speaker from Robert Wood Johnson, who heads the trauma unit victims of violent crimes counseling center, will be giving out gun locks and speaking as well. We'll have more information on that as Ms. Councilmember Canavera gets closer to the event. The police department recently concluded the Youth Police Academy program with a record 35 participants in the week-long program. The participating youth had hands-on physical training, criminal investigation, following in the police organization, report writing, hands-on community policing. The program gives a great exposure to what being a police officer involves in our community. I think it would be a great educational piece even for adults. With regard to the library, we're at minor punch list items for the library bond project, which is the joint partnership with the state and the borough contributing half of the almost $1 million bonding for renovations for the library. If you haven't dropped by or haven't peeked in the windows, it really appears like a totally new building. It is delightfully open and airy and spacious, and the library staff contributed a lot to that design, and we're still just finalizing
the interior renovations, but tonight is the final payment to the original contractor. With that close to being done, there are only one or two minor punch list items. The work on the Kushner Estate grant is being scheduled very rapidly. The public restrooms will be done first. The media room work, actually, the tear down and has started. That's the old community room, will be converted into a community room and media center. I was talking to the executive director last night at the trustees meeting. They're installing wiring which will be able to accommodate, hopefully, technological advances that we have now for a full service media room, but also in the future. And in addition, some of the other Kushner projects we believe will be able to be installed later on. But in the interest of getting this work done and getting the library open, we'll probably schedule those for later in the fall, such as the gazebo and patio areas. The online usage is about the same, which because of the summer slowdown actually means that it's continuing the pace. Normally, there's a bit of a slowdown as school lets out and people start taking vacations, you take a breather. Lending at the temporary site continues at the same level, and the staff are doing such creative projects throughout the community, using time that we're unfortunately away from the library site, just to expand into some of the new contemporary thinking in the library as a community resource and space. The roofing contractor is anticipating installation of the roof in late August, early September. Part of the problem is that, as you know, we had some problem in the contracting. We got in the bidder. They were already committed to some work in the summertime, obviously, it's peak roofing season for commercial and public projects, but they're going to commence very shortly. Should not be dead. I understand from the executive director, they may actually be fabricating some of the sheet metal work that's going to be installed for the new ducting. Just the last comment, I know people were asking when is it going to open. There is no word on when it's going to open. I think it's going to depend on the status of work inside as well as the roofing work, which present both accessibility and public safety questions. But hopefully you'll have more news on that by the next meeting. And that's my report.
Thank you, Councilman George. My report, my name is Matthew Hirsch. I'm the chair of the Public Works Committee, and I'm sitting here today because Mayor Foster is not here, and as Council President, we preside over the meeting. So that's why, but I am still just a regular council member, and here is my report. First, I did want to just, before we get into the business of the borough, really just, ask everyone out there and to encourage everybody to ask each other how you're doing. How are you? The world is feeling a little overwhelming right now. There's a lot going on. The business that we're doing here is incredibly important. It's the small day-to-day minutia that you've elected us to do here, and with your participation and advocacy, we can really come together and really present a plan and a vision and work for the, and work for the borough that serves everybody. Everything that's going on, in the rest of the world is seemingly, increasingly alarming. It is overwhelmingly important. It's things that we talk to with our children. It's things that we talk to about with our friends and our family. And it's also really important that, if you need somebody to reach out to, you can seek out a friend, family. Here at the borough, we have a social worker, Nicole Huff. We have a teen center. So if anybody is feeling overwhelmed by the world today or needs to talk, we are here as well as neighbors, not as clinicians, of course. Except for Councilwoman Canavera, and of course, Councilwoman Canavera is somebody who can really help navigate social service resources as well. When we are going through times of distress, it's really important that we have an advocate, because if you're feeling distressed, it is very difficult for you to go about your daily life and all of your obligations and responsibilities while dealing with something new, potentially catastrophic or overwhelming. So please seek help, seek advice. It is out there for you, and it's as close as this building to help really get you where you're So I did just want to, Councilwoman Canavera mentioned the cooling center that is open during this time of extreme heat. And I did just want to reiterate that the National Weather Service this week has issued an excessive heat warning through tomorrow, where heat index values are expected to reach up to 100 to 110 degrees in Highland Park. That is relatively unheard of. Scattered thunderstorms are possible, and a few may be severe. And obviously the primary hazards with severe storms are damaging winds and heavy rains, leading to flash flooding, especially in urban areas and locations with poor drainage. If you are, generally speaking, if you or anyone needs housing assistance, questions about evictions, or just to get a better understanding of available housing subsidies, you can start by dialing 211 or call 877-652-1148. 211 is a state-endorsed nonprofit organization that provides the 211 service to New Jersey residents. And again, it's one of those social service navigating portals that connects people in need with a variety of health and human service programs. The 211 service provides a hotline that operates 24 hours a day, every day of the year, and online. It also includes a searchable directory of over 6,300 government and nonprofit programs. It's also found on their website, nj211.org. If you need assistance, again, you can dial 211, or you can also text your zip code to 898-211. And Jason, I'm not going to, Councilman Pistonik, I'm not going to step on your toes here. But the HV Rec Summer Camp, proudly and civically also known as Town Camp, will host its Civic Engagement Environmentalist Week next week. Now, what does this have to do with Public Works? Before you start asking, well, I was approached by a camp counselor there, Mason Springer Lipton. I'm sorry, Mason, who was interested in working with campers on identifying unnamed streams in the borough and naming them. Now, I'm not an expert, but I thought that this was a great idea, and where the Environmental Commission could be more involved in this fun activity. Mason is a environmental history major at Rutgers and has a real interest in identifying these streams and really just getting out there with the campers and doing the geological exploration. And our Environmental Commission, which is part of the Public Works portfolio, was really eager to tag along and be part of this exploration. This is the kind of cool, innovative stuff that happens at Town Camp in the summer. Due to unforeseen mechanical issues with one of our sanitation trucks, you may know, there was a delay in the garbage collection for some North Side Triangle residents yesterday, Monday, July 15th. If your garbage was not collected, please leave it at the curb and we'll pick it up, or you can call Public Works and report it uncollected. I believe most or all collections have occurred. However, if you were missed for whatever reason, please give us a call. Northside and Triangle recycling will take place. It did take place today, and just as always, thank you for your patience and understanding. I was so honored to visit the Parker at Stonegate Assisted Living Residence this past Friday to read and present a proclamation from Mayor Foster in honor of Parker resident Gloria Vertes, celebrating her 100th birthday with her family and friends. I love speaking with Mrs. Vertes and her family and interacting with the amazing Parker staff. And I also took some moments to walk the grounds and admire the life-size bronze cast sculptures on loan from the Stuart Johnson Atelier. I spotted these in Trenton, where I work, as well as in New Brunswick, and it would be so cool to see these notable figures come to life in downtown Highland Park, where the band is. Maybe something the Arts Commission could look at. Thank you to the Reformed Church of Highland Park for taking time this summer to appreciate the people who make our community wonderful. This weekend was no exception. The church acknowledged our Public Works Department and DPW Superintendent Michael Wazorkowicz to thank the department for everything that happens to quote, make our lives beautiful here. And it's true. Public Works really is among the municipal agencies that really is the first line of what you see, when you come into town, whether it's clearing our tree grids, whether it's making sure our streets are swept, whether it's making sure that trash and recycling are collected, whether it's making sure that our trees are pruned correctly. They oversee the tree plantings and our municipal parks. So it is, they really do deserve that recognition, and and thank you so much to the church. And on that, if you've noticed ongoing improvements on Felton Avenue, the Felton Avenue tot lot construction is underway. There's a new playground equipment that has been installed and new surfacing is not available for play yet. And this is phase one, so the next phase will be landscaping. So a lot more to come, and I'm just really excited to put this level of investment in our passive recreational spaces that are really woven into the neighborhood. One thing we learned from COVID was that when all else fails, you can go outside and can be with your neighbors. And we're blessed to have Donaldson and Johnson Parks here within our municipal borders, but we're also very fortunate to have some municipal pocket parks that provide that outdoor gathering space and passive recreation. And we want more, so please keep a lookout for that. And that is my report. So we are going to move on to the Borough Administrator's report.
Thank you, Council President. As Councilman Hale mentioned, we do have, excuse me, microphone here, a number of redevelopment related items on the agenda, so I thought I'd take a moment out of my report to at least give an overview of that. First on the agenda for today, in terms of redevelopment items, we're introducing the Upper Raritan redevelopment plan. This is a plan that was authorized by council to be prepared well over a year ago. Chris Cosenza and I have been working on that for a bit. It kind of got its roots out of our 2019 master planning effort and the land use element that was developed. We focused on 5 different corridors in town. Amongst them was Upper Raritan. And just to orient you, what we're calling Upper Raritan in this plan is essentially the properties that front Raritan Avenue between South 10th and Maryland Avenue on Raritan. And essentially what the plan seeks to do is promote a mix of ground floor commercial uses, but also allow for upper floor residential, which isn't currently allowed under the underlying zoning. So the plan has a lot more detail than what I just laid out, but that's in a nutshell what we were trying to achieve. We're also trying to have pedestrian scale, recognizing that eventually our Raritan Avenue road diet and that portion of the roadway will be coming. So I encourage everybody to take a look at the plan, which was included in the packet online. And if you have any questions about the plan's particulars, get in touch with me. The other 2 items that are on the consent agenda relate to areas in need of redevelopment studies, I should say area in need of redevelopment with condemnation studies for 2 parts of town. The first resolution, 7/24/180, focuses on properties at the corner of South 2nd and Raritan, which includes what we formally would refer to as the BBB, moving kind of from left to right, the Sunoco property, as well as the Tract B properties that were included in our downtown redevelopment plan that we're implementing for Tracts C and A currently. Part of the impetus for that was we learned through working with the Tract B redeveloper that the parking issue is an issue. We didn't get a centralized parking structure as part of our Tract C, our redevelopment plan for Tract A to B that we went out to an RFP for. And so they are stuck in terms of what they can do. They're very limited with the 2 properties they have. And in looking at the sites together, there seemed to be a much more rational layout that we can work with. I do want to address the with condemnation, because I know that's not something we see a lot in the borough. But what we're doing now is authorizing a study to see whether or not the properties qualify as areas in need of redevelopment with condemnation. And the reason we have to do it with condemnation or without is because in the course of negotiations down the line, should we decide we need condemnation power, which we are hoping we do not, we would have to restudy the whole property and go through this process all over again. So given some of the ongoing issues with that property, we felt it made sense to have all the tools in the tool basket to address that corner. And so the decision was made to do an area needed redevelopment with condemnation. And so the study will be authorized, hopefully, if the council votes in favor tonight. And then the planner will prepare a study that will go to the planning board. They'll evaluate and determine if they recommend to the council that it meets the criteria. So that's in general what that means. The other property that is being authorized for a study is referred to as lots, but it's 125 Raritan Avenue, which is called Classic Cleaners. And that's kind of in the middle of our Tract A redevelopment area, if you're familiar with the Tract A redevelopment area. We recently did a lot of work on an agreement with the redeveloper and with Ubris, and had a relocation plan put in place pending the renovation of P&K Automotive on Woodbridge Avenue. So while that's going underway, we've now turned our attention to the final property kind of in the middle. And we've been in discussions with the property owner for quite a while. And the decision was made, we need to study the property as an area needed with condemnation so that we can more effectively move forward with negotiations. I should also mention that there are significant contamination issues on the property related to the dry cleaner use. And October is a deadline coming up pretty quickly for remedial investigation, which hasn't been completed. And we have concerns that this property is going to kind of stay out there untreated, uncleaned, and also kind of not enable us to move forward on the implementation of the plan for traffic. So those are the two studies. Again, we're at the point where we're authorizing a study. We will see if they meet the criteria. The planning board will weigh in on that once the planner study is complete. And then once we get that evaluation, we'll come back to the council to make a determination of whether or not to move to make it an area needed with condemnation. So I guess I'll stop there. Those are kind of significant actions on the agenda, some of which I think you've been hearing from folks for a while that, specific to the Sunoco corner for us to deal with. So we're excited to finally be at this point to move those forward. And so, Council President, that is my report for this evening.
Thank you for mentioning it there. And that's very exciting. Next up is the finest point in our council meeting is public participation. 21 minutes total, 3 minutes per speaker, limited to items on the, this is limited to items on each. Oh, I'm sorry. Before that, this is the finest point in the council meeting, is the report from our borough attorney. I apologize. I'm new here.
Catherine, would you be able to listen to the rules that we're gonna have for public participation?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have anything to report, but I do want to just reiterate some of the rules that we have been, that we instituted back in February. What ends up happening is, as the council president mentioned, there's the first part of the public participation, talk about the agenda. The ordinances, however, they're on a second reading. There is a public participation for that specific ordinance. It's on second hearing. There's a third public participation that you can talk about anything. Now, what's going to end up happening is that, like in all the other council meetings that we've been having, is we listen to everyone's questions. People that are here physically in person, they get to ask their questions first. Then we go to online, and then we take a motion, we close the public portion, and then everything has to be directed to the council president since he is heading up the meeting, and then he will either answer the question himself or he will defer it to someone else. And once the public portion is closed in any of these situations, please do not interrupt. Thank you so much.
So now we have arrived at the public participation. This is a 21-minute segment of the meeting. There will be 3 minutes allotted per speaker, limited again to items that you see here on the agenda. The next public participation segment will include kind of a more open discussion. Comments from members of the public attending the meeting in person will be heard first, followed by members of the public attending the meeting via Zoom. Is anybody in the room interested in speaking? Yes, Karen. Good. And just please state your name for the record.
Kieran Crowley, 218 Harrison Avenue. Thank you. Just a question relating to the Upper Raritan redevelopment plan. There's obviously a couple of pieces in the very long agenda, so I'm actually referring to page 37 if you want to look, and it's a process question. So the ordinance has presumptive language in my mind about the planning board's review. So it states on August 8th, 2024, the planning board reviewed the plan and determined that it is substantially consistent with the borough's master plan. So by my reading, there's like a template and it's saying this is what the planning board will decide, which, you know, leads me to ask a question. So is this language in the ordinance, is it just a placeholder? And then you'll add the actual, you know, outcome recommendations of the planning board. And my second question, if the planning board does have recommendations, do they get discussed at the second reading, or will there be another kind of, I guess, stage gate in the process before second reading? So all about process. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crowley. Borough Administrator, do you want to?
Matt.
Okay,
Oh.
Council President, we wait for all the questions and then we're going to close the public portion and respond.
I am so eager to answer questions from the public. This is well, if that's any indication that you will be responded to, thank you. Yeah, we did change our ways, so thank you, Gary. Anybody else in the room? And anybody online?
Yeah, we have 3 hands up from attendees at home, 16 attendees in total. First is Mary Curran. Please state your name for us.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Mary.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, Mary Curran, 67 Cleveland Avenue. I'm here to speak to the redevelopment proposal for 810 North Cleveland, North 2nd Avenue, Block 503, Lot 24.
Mary,
Yes.
can I ask if you would be able to come back during the second public participation segment, because that's not on the agenda tonight.
I know it. We did receive a letter from you saying that we could speak tonight. I am teaching at 8 p.m. and I can't come back. I don't know if I could ask permission to speak now.
Council President, that's fine. I understand she has those questions, but well, once everything, the public portion is closed, and I don't know when it'll be after 8 o'clock, then if anyone can answer, they can answer then.
Mary, if you'd like to ask your question and you're able to hear the answer when the public portion is over, you can. Otherwise, we'll have to just we can correspond with you in another manner. But yeah, please, if you have a question, you may ask.
Okay, and I think I may be, asking for some time outside of this meeting for the answers because there are quite a lot of questions that we have. As neighboring property owners, and there's several of us who wrote a letter back to the borough administrator, and copies went to the planning board, municipal council. We really appreciate the borough's commitment to improvements to the site. However, we'd like to raise the following concerns and questions with you. So with regard to site development, we do have a concern because according to bestneighborhoods.org, in Highland Park, 62% of residents are renters. By comparison, in Metuchen, for example, only 25% of residents are renters. And so that means that our rental rate is significantly higher than the county average. So we are strongly advocating that the property be developed in a manner consistent with the neighboring residential properties to the north, east, south, and west, a single family residential home, which would better fit the surrounding properties, maintain surrounding property values, limit additional parking congestion, and improve the small amount of impervious surfaces on that lot. So we don't think apartments are consistent with sound land use and environment planning. However, we do have concerns. We know that decisions may already have been made, but that is our strong feeling. and we have questions about the site lighting. We have questions about site parking. We have questions about variances at the site. We have questions about sidewalks that might need to go in, variances in terms of taller fences which might be needed, and the strip of land immediately northwest of the site. We also are hoping that we could have some stakeholder meeting given with
30
regard.
seconds.
Yeah, so I want to say that the letter is from Michael Glazer, Diana Glazer-Cheng, Sunil Kumar, Eileen Pitchinson, Lou Pitchinson, Samuel Schiffman, and Vedahyas Vishnubhotia. And I do know that perhaps some of my neighbors are here and will speak to this in more detail tonight too. Thank you.
All good questions. Thank you, Mary.
Anybody else?
Just one moment. Yes, Laurel Kornfeld, you're next.
Can you hear me? Hi, I'm Laurel Kornfeld, 106 North 6th Avenue, and I want to ask about items 13B and C, the redevelopment studies for Sunoco property and for Classic Cleaners. I'm very concerned to see the possible inclusion of eminent domain. I will mention that this past spring, I know the mayor's not here now, but this past spring, the mayor did respond to a question of mine by saying we don't use eminent domain in Highland Park. So I'm wondering why the reversal. I understand that the Sunoco meets the definition of a blighted property since it's been abandoned for years. And really my only concern with that is that the developer, the owner, Jack Morris, who's also a developer, has unlimited resources. And my main concern here is the fight and the cost of the fight the borough would have with him if the borough chooses condemnation of his property. I'm more concerned about Classic Cleaners because that is a thriving business. It's not abandoned, it's not falling apart. It just is separate from, I guess, the vision the borough wants to see there. And I guess I would urge that the study be changed to if it's in need of redevelopment without condemnation. And I would like to ask, why the change of policy? The mayor seemed to indicate in the spring that the borough would not use eminent domain. I can understand if it's an abandoned, the Sunoco is abandoned, it's an eyesore, but this is a thriving business. And to me, it just seems like a reversal. I don't understand. I want to also add, I should have said this in the beginning, I am speaking for myself alone and not for any board, committee, commission, or political committee.
Thank you, Laurel. And we know, of course. Thank you both. Terry, anybody else?
Next up, Carl Prey.
Hi, Mary Forsberg, Dennison Street. Both Karen and Laurel said a lot about things that I'm really concerned about. I'm actually concerned about this whole agenda. I find it interesting that you have a 280-page agenda with a lot of new stuff in it at a time when many people are on vacation. I think that is like not a good way to do business in Highland Park. I'm also concerned like about the eminent domain with Track A, with Classic Cleaners, with the Sunoco, with the questions about the Upper Raritan Valley includes Dr. Goldsmith, who I don't know how many of you have animals, but Dr. Goldsmith had a thriving veterinary practice until recently when he died. And they are looking for someone to take over that veterinary practice. And since that building is within the redevelopment area, it's going to be hard for them to find someone to take that over. I'm really curious about the finances of all of this. Where, like I mentioned before in a previous meeting, my concern about the situation that you've created with Ubrees and P&K Auto Clinic. I don't understand that situation, but I do not think that to me, the costs of that and moving Ubrees and retrofitting that building is a developer's cost, not taxpayers in Highland Park. And I really like to know where all this money is coming from, that you are investing in these new studies and like with the classic cleaners, the thing that you have posted on the Borough website says that the cleanup cost for classic cleaners is up to $1 million. How much are we spending? How much are we going to be spending cleaning up Buck Woods? So I'm very concerned about the way you are spending our money. I'd like to know when the new tax rate's going to be available and what it's going to be. And I guess my fourth question is a little more provincial. Denison Street, as you know, has not been paved in probably 25 years. And I know you put in a grant for that, and I'd like to know when it's actually going to be paved.
Thank you, Mary.
Let me double check our end time here. We're good. I have a hand up here. Andrea Alexander, please state your name, confirm it's you.
Thank you. This is Andrea Alexander, 116 North 3rd Avenue. I hope you guys can hear me because I'm on my phone. I just wanted to speak in support of the resolutions. Make sure I have the correct wording, but undertaking an investigation into determining if certain properties should be areas of redevelopment. I have to say that I was so thrilled to hear that the town was undertaking this action, especially related to the gas station property. I've been living here for more than 10 years, and I just can't believe that has been sort of a vacant eyesore in our downtown for so long. And now that redevelopment is moving ahead, I was thinking, how are we going to have, some nice redevelopment right next to that property? So I just want to speak in support of this action. I think it's a great idea. I think it's time that the town takes some aggressive, bold moves in order to improve our downtown and specifically address that blighted property. So I just want to make sure you guys hear a voice in support of this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrea.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I have two more hands up. One is somebody who's already spoken, so I'm going to go with the one who hasn't, with your permission. Kathleen Kelly.
Hi, Kathleen.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Kelly, 282 South 11th Avenue. I have a question in regards to the handicap that is initially supposed to be put in front of the street in front of my building. I was just wondering what the progress and the status of that would be. If somebody could let me know, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen, and we'll get to that after the public portion. Anybody else?
I have the person who's already spoken.
Are we on
Mary
the time?
I believe we still have a few minutes.
Oh, wait,
Yeah, but it was
on 8:10. It was on 8.
Yeah, it was on 8:10. Do you want me to make sure? You want me to see if it's related to that?
Sure, yeah. We just have to stick to the agenda.
Mary,
Yes, it's Mary
the
Kern.
question is this regarding 810 North 2nd Avenue?
I was just going to ask one question because I know I said so much. So for when you're able to respond, I just wanted one question.
Shoot.
Okay. The question is, will the developer and the borough commit to stakeholder meetings with all the parties who received the June 20th letter prior, during, and following development? That's the question. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary. All right.
I don't see any other hands up.
All right. Seeing no other residents with their hands raised either virtually or in person, may I have a motion to close public participation?
So moved.
Second.
And roll call.
Councilwoman Canavera?
Yes.
Councilman George?
Yes.
Councilman Hale?
Yes.
Council President Hirsch?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Cho Han?
Yes.
Councilman Pistonik?
Yes.
Ordinances requiring a, did we want to, yeah, we wanted to actually answer some of the questions. Terry, did you want to get into, there were a couple questions that I think we could probably get back to right now. Mary Curran's questions regarding public participation and engagement process.
Do you want me to start from that?
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever.
So I think we should, I received a letter, this is regarding 810 North Second, a very comprehensive and thoughtful letter from the neighbors, and we're giving it some thought. And we, as I indicated in my email, we need a little time to review everything and get back to you on all those items. So you will hear back from us as soon as I have a chance to review everything with our planner, as well as with the mayor when she returns, and other members of council. So please just hang on a little bit longer while we get through your letter and your request. I have notes. You tell me how you want to do it.
Sure. Mr. Crowley asked about language in the resolution on the sign. I'm sorry, the sign.
It was regarding Upper Raritan.
Upper Raritan, I'm sorry.
So yes, as I understand it, it's a placeholder, but I actually would defer to our attorney Shaw about the language in the ordinance. It sounds presumptive, and actually, interestingly, Jason over to my left here asked me the same question right beforehand. So it's my understanding is to lay out, this is the introduction, and then based on what action ends up happening, it is being referred to the planning board by the resolution that's on the agenda tonight with that number and that date. If it doesn't come back in agreement as consistent with the master plan, we would have to reevaluate what to do and adjust that language. That's my understanding. Can you just?
Yeah, of course. What I'm having is that, first of all, I want to give some credit to Chris. Both of our offices worked together in it, and we made a number of revisions based on case law. And that
He was referring to Upper Raritan, not the signage.
Oh, my apologies. Yeah, what I can do is after the meeting, we can kind of go through it if you're around, and then I can go from there, because it would be a little bit of a longer conversation.
Yeah, I think the question was, there's some dates in there, like it's going to the planning board on this date, like what if they have to postpone or something? I think obviously we would have to.
Yeah, they have an extension, then they can come, and they can play if there's any revisions.
And in the past, if we've had a delay or anything like that, or change, we would table the public hearing and vote until we can reconcile that issue at the next meeting. Our hope is that they see the plan for what we think it is, consistent with the master plan, vote in favor, and we can move forward. But if not, we'll readjust at that point.
And like I said, after the meeting, we can discuss it more.
And so that's kind of the process. You asked about the process that, we'll get the feedback from the planning board. There's a lot of substantial comments. We'll have to discuss, as the governing body will have to decide if it wants to move forward or reintroduce with some changes. We're fairly confident it's consistent with the master plan. Any other public comments you'd like me to address?
Sure. So I think the public, I think Laurel Porterfield asked a good question regarding what is the difference here, the differentiation between area new redevelopment and area new redevelopment combinations. Maybe you could just explain a little bit about where we are now. And
the way I would approach that answer is basically we want to have all the options on the table to advance the projects in both locations, and that gives us the most tools in the toolbox. The hope is that you don't have to go that route. It's time consuming, it can be more expensive, so we hope to get to a negotiation for all of the above. So that's, I think, that's the reason we're going this route, is we want to come out of the gates with all the tools in the toolbox available to us as we move forward on both of those areas.
Terry, would you like me to say anything about the combination and the market price?
Sure.
Okay, I know a lot of people, when they hear of condemnation, they feel like someone's just taking somebody's property. They are getting compensated market value, and if it's a business, based on the profit. So it's not a taking, as a lot of people assume that it is. And I'll just keep it at that. I understand that the caller was online, so unfortunately I can't speak to that caller after the meeting as well, but of course, if they have follow-ups.
Let's see. Mary Forsberg, you had asked about the tax rate and when it's going to be available. I
Just received the certified rate from the county, I believe today, so we're busy working on the tax bills. Everybody, sit tight a little longer.
You're eager.
We'll let you pay those taxes, don't you
Yes.
worry.
Oh, absolutely. Civic duty. And just this one I can speak on. The 2024 road projects include North 4th Avenue, Dennison Street to Raritan Avenue, Dennison Street. Mary Forsberg asked about that. North 2nd, that's North 2nd and North 5th. And then I've gotten several questions about Harper Street, not to be confused with Harper Place, but Harper Street, South 1st to South 1st Avenue, all the way to South 4th. That was one of those roadways that was kind of orphaned in the extensive South Side road work a couple of years ago, unfortunately. So, but finally, it's going to be freshly paved and ready to go.
The ADA space on.
Yes, Kathleen Kelly. Yes, thank you. Yes, do we have a?
I believe it's second reading, we're voting on it
to
tonight.
tonight, right?
Yeah.
So, Ms. Kelly, I hope that answers your question. It is the parking spaces on second reading tonight, so we are slated to approve that. And of course, this has been vetted by the Public Safety Committee. If you have any questions, please continue to reach out. So, I think that is, I believe that's it. So may I call a motion to close? We close public participation. So we're going to go into ordinances requiring a second reading. Ordinance number 11A, ordinance number 242086, an ordinance amending on-street parking regulations for residents occupied by persons with a physical disability and amending the code of the Borough of Highland Park 2010. Is there a public hearing?
Anybody online care to comment on that ordinance?
All right. Seeing none, could I have a motion to adopt or reject ordinance number 2422? Oh, pardon me. Where are we?
Right.
May I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance number 242086?
So moved. Second.
And roll call, please.
Councilwoman Canavera?
Yes, and I'd like to thank Lieutenant Soden for all his hard work in gathering the information for this.
Councilman George?
Yes.
Councilman Hale?
Yes.
Council President Hirsch?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Cho Han?
Yes.
Councilman Pistonik?
Yes.
So may I have a motion to adopt or reject ordinance number 242086?
So moved. Second.
And roll call, please.
Councilwoman Canavera?
Yes.
Councilman George?
Yes.
Councilman Hale?
Yes.
Council President Hirsch?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Cho Han?
Yes.
Councilman Pistonik?
Yes.
It takes a village. Okay, ordinance 11B, ordinance number 242087, an ordinance by the Borough of Highland Park, Middlesex County, New Jersey, amending chapter 230, land development concerning signage regulations and other design standards. Could I have a motion to open the public hearing on this?
So moved.
Second.
And seeing none, could we close the public hearing? Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
And Could we have a motion to adopt or reject ordinance 24-2087?
Motion to adopt.
Second,
All right, roll call.
Councilwoman Canavera?
Yes.
Councilman George?
yes.
Councilman Hale?
Yes.
Council President Hirsch?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Cho Han?
Yes.
Councilman Pistonik?
I think we may want to confirm a few details on the public hearing portion. I'm not sure that, did we confirm that everyone?
There were no hands
There's
up.
no hands.
Okay.
With that.
Thank you.
With that clarified, yes.
Thank you, Councilman. Ordinance passes. Ordinance passes, so. Clerk, please report on ordinance number 24-2088, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Highland Park, chapter 138, water and sewer, was duly advertised for consideration of passage on final reading by title, and affidavits of publication are on file.
All right, it's now time for a public hearing on the ordinance. If you'd like to speak on this ordinance, please come to the microphone or raise your hand on Zoom. Motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second,
Is there any-
Anybody?
No hands up.
All right, seeing none, motion to close public hearing
so moved.
Second.
and motion, seeing no one, may I have a motion to close the public hearing? Let's do a roll call. Motion to adopt or reject ordinance 24-2088, excuse me.
All right, we're gonna do a roll call to close the public hearing. Councilwoman Canavera?
Yes.
Councilman George?
Yes.
Councilman Hale?
Yes.
Council President Hirsch?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Cho Han?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pistonik?
Yes.
All right, may I have a motion to adopt or reject ordinance 24-2088? Roll call.
Motion to adopt.
Second,
And roll call.
Councilwoman Canavera?
Yes.
Councilman George?
yes.
Councilman Hale?
Yes.
Council President Hirsch?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Cho Han?
Yes.
Councilman Pistonik?
Yes.
All right, ordinances requiring a first reading. Ordinance 12A, ordinance number 24-2089.
That's me.
Clerk, would you please report on the ordinance?
An ordinance of the Borough of Highland Park, County of Middlesex, New Jersey, authorizing the adoption of Upper Raritan Avenue redevelopment plan pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, NJSA 40A:12A-1 et sec has been duly introduced by the Economic Development and Planning Committee for consideration of passage on first reading by title.
All right, may I have a motion to approve or reject ordinance number 24-2089? Authorized publication is required by law and set public hearing for August 13th, 2024.
Motion to adopt. Second.
And roll call, please.
Councilwoman Canavera?
Yes.
Councilman George?
Yes.
Councilman Hale?
Yes.
Council President Hirsch?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Cho Han?
Yes.
Councilman Pistonik?
Yes.
Clerk Santiago, please report on the introduction of ordinance number 24-2090.
Ordinance approving and authorizing the entering into execution and delivering of a lease and agreement with Middlesex County Improvement Authority relating to the issuance of county guaranteed capital equipment improvement revenue bonds, series 2024. The Middlesex County Improvement Authority has been duly introduced by the Finance Committee for consideration of passage on first reading by title.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve or reject ordinance number 24-2090, authorized publication is required by law, and set public hearing for August 13th, 2024.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Canavera, seconded by Councilwoman Kim Cho Han. Roll call.
Councilwoman Canavera?
Yes.
Councilman George?
Yes.
Councilman Hale?
Yes.
Council President Hirsch?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Cho Han?
Yes.
Councilman Pistonik?
Yes.
Please report on the introduction of ordinance number 24-2091.
Loan ordinance authorizing the entering into execution and delivery of a loan and security agreement with Middlesex County Improvement Authority for the undertaking of various 2024 capital improvements and the acquisition of an installation as applicable of various equipment with estimated cost of $260,000. The cost of such improvements and equipment to be financed through the issuance of county guaranteed capital equipment improvement revenue bonds Series 2024 of the Middlesex County Improvement Authority has been duly introduced by the Finance Committee for consideration of passage on first reading by title, and the supplemental debt statement prepared by the municipal auditor was filed in the clerk's office on July 15, 2024.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve or reject ordinance number 242091, authorized publication as required by law, and set public hearing for August 13, 2027.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman George, seconded by Councilwoman Kim Cho Han, and roll call.
Councilwoman Canavera?
Yes.
Councilman George?
Yes.
Councilman Hale?
Yes.
Council President Hirsch?
Yes, and just to clarify, this is for a Freightliner multi-body dump truck. Yes, absolutely, yes.
Councilwoman Kim Cho Han?
Yes.
Councilman Pistonik?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to move on to our consent agenda. May I have a motion to adopt or reject the following consent agenda, items 13A through 13S?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilman George, seconded by Councilman Pistonik, or whichever order. And roll call, please.
Councilwoman Canavera?
Yes.
Councilman George?
Yes.
Councilman Hale?
Yes.
Council President Hirsch?
Yes, and in the mix, I'm very excited to move forward with our community solar program and solar landscape, and with the Gable Associates and everybody involved. This is a really exciting program that the borough is about to embark on, and we are really among the first in the state to design our program like this, where we will have an opt out. So if you fall below a certain income threshold, you're going to be automatically, your utility bill through PSE&G will be automatically involved in the program unless you very intentionally opt out. So this is a really exciting and innovative approach to keeping costs low, energy savings, and then also environmental sustainability, obviously through our solar, our soon to be growing solar grid. So yes, absolutely.
Councilwoman Kim Cho Han?
Yes to all, no to 13C.
Councilman Pistonik?
Oh, hold on, sorry. Yeah, Councilwoman, did you say that, that you wanted to pull a resolution because you wanted to say no to one specific one? Well,
She said she wanted to say no to one.
okay, so what's gonna happen is, and my apologies, I did not know any of the council people had anything to pull. We're gonna have to go back, and what ends up happening is that we're gonna go to each council person and find out if they wanna pull any of the resolutions. If they wanna pull the resolutions, we're gonna have a separate vote for that, and then whatever's remaining, everyone's gonna vote on the consent agenda, okay? So that way, it's cleaner on the record, and then we gotta understand that you need to pull something, okay? Oh, thank you. We just never did it that way, so yeah. Okay, that's the proper way to do it, all right, so.
I can take that one out.
Oh, no, you can't do it that way, because we have to check if any other council people also have to pull whatever they need to do for resos. So, my apologies, Jennifer, can we start that again with the consent agenda?
Can I have a point of clarification?
Yes.
Pulling, what is pulling?
Okay, so what ends up happening is that pulling, P-U-L-L-I-N-G, and it means polling, P-O-L-L-I-N-G. So what ends up happening is that in the consent agenda, when all of you vote, it's generally everybody wants to vote for everything. If there was an issue on one of them, we gotta pull it, because then she's not agreeing, like I'm just using Councilwoman as an example, as she's not agreeing to all the consent agenda, because that's what the vote is, okay?
But we can still vote on.
Yes, you're gonna vote on
Vote
everything.
on everything.
You're gonna vote on everything.
So we're not pulling it or tabling it, we're still voting
We're
on everything.
pulling it, right, correct.
We just have to separate.
That's correct, okay? So my apologies, Jennifer, can we please just start from the beginning for consent agenda only, and to go to each of the council people, and Council President, you may also do this if you'd like to, ask each council person if they want to pull any of the consent agenda items, and will be voted on separately.
I expected my council members to indicate their concerns ahead of the meeting, so I'm not aware of any other resolutions or ordinances that are concerned about. So if you do have something that you would like to have pulled, I just suggest that you make it known.
Well, actually, we can just do it right now first, okay? So if you can go to each one of them and say, please, to each council person and ask them if they need to pull anything, they'll let you know, and then the clerk will then make a notation that the items that have been pulled will be voted after the consent agenda, minus whatever needs to get voted on will continue, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
So,
you're gonna start, right, you can start from the right and you go.
So
same
Ken
thing
Cho
on the
had,
council
aside,
reports.
aside from resolution 13C, are there other items that you would like to have separated from the consent agenda?
No.
Okay. Councilman Hale?
No.
No.
I have no items that I would like pulled from the consent agenda.
Consent agenda is acceptable.
And Council President, do you have anything to follow?
I do not.
Okay. So, the motion has to be the consent agenda minus the resolution that councilwoman, wants to vote on separately.
Thank you. Could I please have a motion to adopt or reject the following consent agenda items 13A, B, and 13D through 13S?
So moved.
Second.
And roll call, please.
Councilwoman Canavera?
Yes.
Councilman George?
Yes.
Councilman Hale?
Yes.
Council President Hirsch?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Cho Han?
Yes.
Councilman Pistonik?
Yes, and I'd just like to point out that I'm excited to see, and thank you to Terry and the team at the Borough for moving forward with some of the preliminary work to get the community center roof repaired. Again, I vote yes.
Okay, and now we're going to do a vote on 13C, correct, Council President? Okay, so we can do a vote on that and then go through each.
So may I have, thank you. May I have a motion to adopt or reject the following item in the consent agenda, item 13C?
So
Motion
moved.
to adopt. Second.
Everybody.
Motion by Councilman Hale, seconded by Councilman Spellman. And roll call, please.
Councilwoman Canavera?
Yes.
Councilman George?
Yes.
Councilman Hale?
Yes.
Council President Hirsch?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Cho Han?
No.
And Councilman Pistonik?
Yes.
All right. All right, so moving on to the consent agenda now behind us. Right. So we have appointments, an appointment to the Council on Aging. And would like to I would ask for a motion to confirm Samuel D. Kovac to the Council on Aging.
So moved.
Second.
And roll call, please.
Councilwoman Canavera?
Yes, and thank you to all our volunteers.
Councilman George?
Yes.
Councilman Hale?
Yes.
President Hirsch?
Yes, I'm really excited about Sam joining the Council on Aging. He's just a terrific, community-minded public servant, and you know, he's has really deep knowledge of the borough, so we're really looking forward to it. Thanks. Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Cho Han?
Yes.
Councilman Pistonik?
Yes, and I second Tara's sentiment to thank all of our Borough volunteers.
So with that, we're going to move on to our second public participation, 3 minutes per speaker on any topic, subject to a 9 p.m. conclusion. So it's 8:12 now, according to my clock. Comments from members of the public attending the meeting in person will be heard first, followed by members of the public attending the meeting via Zoom. Anybody?
Here in the crowd, I think you have my address from earlier. So really quickly on track C and the associated plaza, why are we not having Garden Homes fund the new plaza? Thank you.
Anybody else in person? Anybody online?
Yeah, I do have 2 hands up, 8 attendees at home total. The one that's coming up is HP Dem Committee host. So if you could please tell us who you actually are, and state your name for us. And you lower your hand if you're ready. Looks like I have one more hand up.
Sure.
Randall Solomon.
Hi,
State your name. There you are.
Randy Solomon, 331 Felton Avenue. I just wanted to say I'm extremely enthusiastic about declaring the you know, the Sunoco lot, the old Sunoco lot, an area in need of redevelopment. I think it's long overdue. And I really believe that as soon as that is done, we're gonna see a useful, beautiful building that will bring vitality to that area and hopefully some taxes. Thank you.
Thank you, Randall. Anybody else?
No, their hands up.
All right. Seeing no one further, may I have a motion to close public participation?
So moved.
Second.
And roll call, please.
Councilwoman Canavera?
Yes.
Councilman George?
Yes.
Councilman Hale?
Yes.
Council President Hirsch?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Cho Han?
Yes.
Councilman Pistonik?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for hanging in there with me, everybody. I appreciate it. It really does take a village. This is fun. I am looking forward to moving back to my familiar environment soon. So our next, oh, I'm sorry.
Point of clarification,
Yes,
there was a question that, did you,
was there?
Kieran? I'm gonna, it's up to you whether you want to answer it now or not. I just wasn't sure what you wanted to.
We closed.
We closed the public portion, and I understand so that it did come up during the public portion, the second part as well. So, I mean, once we've closed it, we've closed it.
But no, we just answered.
Oh, I know, and I thought that's what we were doing, because you said there's another question.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
There was a question from the public. We have not answered that question.
Okay,
Right.
I thought they were getting
able
to
to
it.
answer that question.
Thank you. Kieran, you asked about the financing of the public plaza. I don't believe we're there yet, but Terry. If you want
That
to
is
answer.
the correct answer. We're still negotiating all the aspects of the redevelopment, so we're not able to give you an answer to that question. It's not forgone either way. And can I make a point of clarification based on Randy's Solomon's point? I think it was shorthand, but I just want to clarify. Tonight, we've just authorized the area in need of redevelopment with condemnation study for the Sunoco corner as well as the other property. That is not what was voted on. And he said it in shorthand, and I'm sure he didn't mean it that way, but I just want to be very clear. We're talking about authorizing the study.
Every tool in the toolbox. You know, I do a lot of work in vacant properties and abandoned properties for my day job, and it's really important that municipalities have all the tools in front of them to know what to use, when to use them, how to use them, and what their options are. It doesn't make any sense, I think, to any of us to remove an option from the table. And if something arises, and then, you know, we use it. If we don't, we don't. But at least we have it. Thank you, Councilman Hale, for that. Mr. Crowley, my apologies. The next council meeting next scheduled council meeting is August 13th, 2024 at 7 p.m. And we are going to take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful night, and please keep the questions coming. We really appreciate it. Thank you.